Good morning, and thank you for joining the workshop this morning. The workshop is titled Distance Learning Solutions and Online Materials for the CTE Classroom with iCEV. Again, thank you for joining. My name is Mark Johnson with iCEV, and the goal today is to really walk you through the basics of iCEV, get you a better understanding of the tool that we do offer and how you can implement this not only in your classroom, but in a distance learning scenario where we're all, I believe, looking for solutions. So with that being said, I do want to share my screen and I will go ahead and get started with the workshop. First thing I'm going to do is log in. One thing you will notice is once I do log in to iCEV, I've got my Courses page. And this is where you're going to see all of the different courses that you have loaded from our iCEV library. And you have access to all of the courses within your subject area. So for example, if I select Add New Course or Certification, I am then able to select the program area that I teach. And this is going to show me, as a Family Consumer Sciences teacher, all of the different courses that I have available as a subscriber to iCEV. One of the things we really tried to do is take all of our resources within a content area and place them into the Family Consumer Sciences platform, for example, and then you're able to pick and choose all of the different courses that you might be teaching for the semester or for the school year. Now, as a subscriber, a lot of our subscribers subscribe year after year, so as you evolve and your course offerings change, this gives you a really good opportunity to have teaching resources for each one of those courses. So the first thing I'll do is go ahead and add a couple of the courses. So let's say I'm teaching culinary arts and I'm teaching that, let's say, second period. I'm going to go ahead and load this particular course under course title, and I'm going to put that as second period. And you will notice at the top of the page, there's going to be very specific instructions to walk you through how to load your courses. Once I have that titled, I'm going to select Add Course, and that is going to load it to my Courses Added section. From here, I can go in and add additional courses. So let's say I'm looking and I want to add Clothing Management 1, and let's say I'm teaching that third period. I might title that third period Clothing Management 1. I'm going to add that course. And then I'm also teaching another section of culinary arts. So I'm going to title that fourth period. The important part to that is once I add students to my rosters and I teach more than one section of a course, that allows me to keep those rosters separate. And if we're teaching in a distance learning scenario or a blended learning scenario, it really helps me as I navigate the gradebook. Once I have added what I would like to add, I'm going to select Finished. And that is going to load those new courses onto my Courses page. You'll notice I had already loaded first period Child Development, as well as a certification that is tested for on iCEV from Southwest Airlines, and I'll get into that later in the presentation. One thing though is I want to be able to move my courses around and keep them organized. So now I've got first through fourth period and then my certification. So from here I can see each one of my courses, and each one of these courses it's really your entire course, or would be like a traditional textbook, and it's loaded with all of the different lessons that you're going to be teaching within each one of these courses. Now, if I were to select and open up my first period Child Development class, from here I'm going to be able to see all of the different lessons, or they would be like chapters in a book, that are going to be available for me to cover each one of these topics. Now, each one of these lessons is going to be structured around either a video production or a PowerPoint production. Sometimes they're hybrid lessons that have both a video and a PowerPoint within each lesson. That will be indicated on your lesson plan. So if I come and open up, let's open up Parenting Basics. As I open this particular lesson, you will notice that the video is going to load in this player right here in the middle of my screen. This really allows me as a teacher to go through, see the video. You can see to the right, it's chaptered out by different topics. We've organized it in such a way that they kind of build on each other. But from a distance learning perspective or a blended learning, your students would be able to access this same video from their device when they're at home. I can show this full screen in the class. I could do a Zoom meeting and share this with my students. They could access it, like I mentioned, from their device. So my options to go full screen is a nice option in a Zoom meeting or if I'm in the classroom. Each one of the lessons and the videos are also going to have closed caption that are defaulted to be on, but I can turn that off as well if I would like. So really the core content or information is delivered on the video production that you can utilize again in class or remotely. But we've also got printable items and interactive items that go along with this lesson. If I select printable, I'm going to be able to see all of the items that go with the video that we have developed. First, you will see a grading rubric, and we have got this template for each one of your lessons, and this really gives you something to access if you need a form for a grading rubric. You're going to have activities and projects, and these are designed to reinforce the concepts that are on the video or the PowerPoint. You will always have a vocabulary. You have a worksheet for note-taking. So if I were just to open this worksheet, you can see it is designed for students to be able to take notes. There is an interactive version to this, but if you do have students that may not have access to a computer at home, you could certainly print the worksheets out that have the answers and create a packet for them that goes with the lesson. You will also notice that you are going to have assessments designed for each one of the areas within the video or the PowerPoint. And there's many cases where you have a final assessment. So again, these are all the printable items. One thing you will notice is the vocab, the worksheet, and all of the assessments are also available in an interactive platform that you'll see here. Now this is really nice for the distance learning or the blended learning. This allows your students to access any of these items. They can work their way through these on their own device, and it automatically grades it, timestamps it, dates it, and places it into a grade report on your courses page. So in real time, you're able to see what they've completed and when they've completed it. This also gives you some flexibility on what your students see and when they see it. Currently, everything is defaulted to be turned on, so you can see all of the check marks are on. You can deactivate them on a specific date by selecting this. You can show the answers or the details when they complete each one of these items. You can turn that on or off. You can set it to show up on their page when they log in, and you can also set the attempts threshold on how many chances they get for each item. Currently, it's defaulted to be unlimited, but you have total control as an instructor as to what that looks like. As an example, if you wanted them to complete the vocab, they would select that item, and it is going to open up the definitions and it's going to allow them to go in and complete these items as they work their way through the vocabulary. Once they complete this, they can then submit it, and again, it's time-stamped, dated, most importantly, graded for you as an instructor. So each lesson is going to have a video or a PowerPoint, as I mentioned, your printable and interactive items, and all of that is tied together with a lesson plan that is located right above your video. Now, if I select that, it's going to open this in a new window, and you're going to be able to see the actual lesson plan we've put together. This is going to have your goals, your objectives, your description of the lesson. It's going to discuss how this lesson is aligned to the Common Core. Here's your college and career readiness anchor standards for speaking and listening. Here are your writing standards. So this is going to lay out for you as an instructor how this aligns to Common Core. The next page, you're going to notice we have put together a lesson plan or a daily pacing guide that walks you as an instructor through each day, because the activities and projects are designed to reinforce those concepts on the video. And from here, you will see that you're going to show the first 18 minutes of the video in class period 1, and then it's going to tell you to hand out the vocab, the worksheet, and it's going to ask you right here to introduce the rights and responsibilities project. It's going to tell you to include the assessment. So it tells you which items go with which particular segments of the video. So it really takes the guesswork out of it for you as a teacher. It's a great roadmap. And in this distance learning scenario, this is an item you could share with your students so they understand the sequence of how everything fits together. Day 2, again, these are based on 50-minute class periods, but this is going to walk you through what all your teachers or what all your students would be doing for class period 2. Based on the 50-minute class period, this lesson looks like it's around 7 days, but you as an instructor have the flexibility to integrate this however it best fits your classroom. We typically will put some additional lesson links on each one of the lesson plans that are really designed to enhance the lesson. It gives your students an additional place to go do research, do some additional reading. Very good for this, remote learning scenario. We also touch on your CTSOs, and this will just kind of tell you how this particular lesson will align with the CTSOs that your students might be working through. Most of our lessons are going to have a section called Career Connections, and this is where we have went out and interviewed over 1,000 people nationally, all different walks of life, all different jobs, all different careers. And this is a great place for you to bring that career exploration piece into any classroom, any day. This is going to tell you who are going to be interviewed. It gives you who they work for, tells you what their job title is. And then if you want your students to access these interviews, there's a nice activity here called Career Connections that you can select. And this is going to give the students 5 questions to really get into that exploring piece. Because again, you could make any day career day. You have guest speakers anytime you want. These are questions your students can answer as they work their way through the interviews, which are located right here under Select Playlist. And this is where you can locate all of your career interviews. And your students are going to be able to watch these, answer the questions, and really get a better feel for what each one of these areas looks like from a career standpoint. On your lesson plan, you are also going to see all of your instructions for your lab activities, your projects, This is all in one place, so you can read through, see if this is something that's going to work for you. So that gives you an example of what one lesson looks like. I'm going to go back to my home page and touch on just a couple of items that we've put in here for customer support and for training. As you can see, there's a lot of information just for one lesson. So as a teacher, typically when you have questions, those questions need to be answered, usually instantly. So we put in an iCEV coach for each one of our customers. So when you're logged into your page, you're going to see this button that says iCEV coach live chat help. It's going to have a whistle here, and when you select this button, you're going to get real-time live chat with our customer support team. This allows you to ask your question to our customer support team. They're going to jump in here and ask how they can help. You ask your question, you get your answer. That allows you to really move on with your day. But it's a great way to get answers. They're fast, they're efficient, and we really appreciate them. So please take advantage of that. That is here to really help. We also have a schedule online training section. So if you select this, this allows you to come in here and select a day, select a time that works for you. You're able to fill out this form. Once you confirm this training session, we're going to then send you an invite to our Zoom meeting, and it will be a one-on-one, really simple training session to answer your specific questions. Super helpful, and you can do it at your convenience, so it makes it really nice. There is no limit to the number of those that you do. Please take advantage of that opportunity. Lastly, we have a section up here called tutorials. It's at the top of every page, and when I select tutorials, that is going to take me to a landing page of all of our different resources, one of those being tutorials. So when I select that, you will see all of the different items that we've set up a tutorial for. These are all the different features of the site. They do a great job of walking you through some additional training, and again, you're able to do this at a time convenient for you. Those are always available. So those are a few things I really wanted to reach out and show you as we look at training, professional development. Fortunately, in Arkansas, we're lucky to have multiple people that work for us. We have Rick and Janet Haygood, and we also have Steve Davis. They've all been in the classroom. They all do a great job of training, so please take advantage of them. Once we're able to get back into the classrooms, you can have one of the three of them show up and really do that training, whether it's one-on-one or a group setting for your school. I would like to go in and just open up another course. Let's look at second period culinary arts. If I open this course, you will notice it's set up exactly like the other. If I wanted to come in and open up a lesson, let's look at Introduction to Culinary Techniques and Methods. The only difference here, you are going to see this is a video production. You're going to have your lesson plan, all of your printable items, which is going to have your grading rubric, all of your activities, your projects, your handouts, vocabulary, and your assessments. Remember, your vocabulary, your worksheet, and your assessments are also set up in an interactive platform. And these are the items your students can complete on their device. So if I go back to this second period culinary arts course, there's a couple different features I'd like to show you. As you can see, there are a lot of lessons in this course. It's a large course. It's a full year. It's a lot of work. And if I shared that with my students, that might be a little overwhelming for some of them to see that many lessons. So once I have them invited to my roster, which I'll show you in a minute, I want to make sure that I don't overwhelm them. So I'm going to come down here to my settings tab, and I have got a button that says lesson visibility, and I'm going to select show settings. This opens up each one of these tabs that allows me to make each of these lessons visible, hidden, or visible on a specific date. Now, what I would like to do is only make the first one visible to the students, so when they register for my class, that's all they see. So I am going to default all of these to be hidden. And I come to my lesson visibility settings and I go to hide all. That hides all of my lessons, but I can go to the very first one, select visible to students, and then I can turn the next one to be set. And let's do that for Friday. So now my students log in, they're going to see one lesson, and then on Friday they will see an additional lesson. So it really gives you a chance as a teacher to control that and not to overwhelm your students. Again, under the settings tab, I can control all the different items and when my students can see them. And I can set everything to be hidden if I would like over here by selecting hide all, and then go back into the lesson and turn on what I want them to see. So these are all of my control buttons for all the different settings. And let's say that I want to register a student or have my students register for my second period culinary arts class. All I need to do is go to the Invite Students tab, and this is going to give me the instructions for the students, which are on the screen, but I could download them and email them to the students if I would like. We have also created a video that will help the students and the parents work their way through this process. But all they need to do is go to this registration page. Every course that you load on your home page is going to have its own unique registration code, which they're going to need. Once they select the registration tab, they put in the registration code, their first and last name. They do not need an email. They need a username, a password, a security question and answer, and they're ready to join your class. We do encourage you to select that username for them. A lot of times it's just their school login. That makes it easy. But once they hit submit, they're going to be registered for your class, and you are going to be able to see them under the Manage Roster tab. So your entire roster will show up here. From this screen, you'll be able to see who all is registered. You'll be able to see their username, reset their password because they're going to forget it, and you can move them from one class to the next. You can remove them from the class altogether and delete them, which then allows you to reuse that student login. This is also where you find your course grades report, and this is going to list all of your students once you have them loaded, and then you're able to then either download an Excel document that has all the grades or view the report right here from this screen. The neat thing about the way we've set up iCEV is whether I'm in child development, culinary arts, clothing management, or I could be in a totally different discipline within business, marketing, law enforcement, health science. All of the lessons navigate the same. They're all structured the same. So when we do professional development, it makes it easy for us to bring all the teachers together that are using iCEV within the district, and we can do that professional training at the same time. I did mention there are some certification opportunities within iCEV. We have several different certifications we test for. There are several that are on the Arkansas State approved list. One of them is the Southwest Airlines Professional Communication Certification that I have downloaded the playlist or the review materials for you as a teacher for your homepage. I just want to touch on this briefly. When I open this, it does show me all of the different lessons or the review materials that we've put in place to prepare the students for the final certification exam. This is something you can share with your students, any of them that would like to be proactive and work their way through that certification. You can share that playlist with them, same exact way. When you go to invite students, all you need to do is give them the registration code. They're already, they've already got an iCEV login, so now all they need is the registration code, and that will allow them to access the review materials to prepare for that certification exam. There is a video tutorial that goes in depth on the certifications, and I would encourage you to take a look at that if you are interested in having any of your students test for those certifications that are on iCEV. You know, lastly, I would like to show you one other document. When I go into my first period child development class, we have got a document that says Special Population Strategies. When you select this, this is going to open up a PDF document that we've put together that really walks you through not only definitions, explanations to special populations. You're going to see the differences between accommodations and modifications. But most importantly, we walk you through all the different ways that you can make these accommodations, make these modifications within the iCEV platform as a subscriber. So this is going to walk you through, and it is a large document. It's 45 pages. I'd encourage you to download this so you have it. But it walks you through all the different options and different ways you can modify and make your settings adjustments within iCEV. And in many cases, you're going to have a tutorial that walks you through it as well. So this is a really neat document. Our crew did a really good job putting this together, but we've had a lot of teachers that have gotten a lot of use out of this that are using iCEV. So please, when you log into your course, you'll be able to see that document here. We also try to do standards alignments for some of your courses. I know some of these are changing. We're trying to get these updated. But if you select that standards alignment tab, it is going to give you the Arkansas standards and the actual lessons that are going to be utilized to fit those standards, as well as the suggested number of days of teaching. So hopefully this is a document you'll find on some of your courses. It's very helpful. Again, your standards have changed some, so we're trying to go through and make those changes. Last two things I'll touch on, and again, we really appreciate this opportunity. We did create a landing page for distance learning. It's icevonline.com/icev-distance-learning. And this is going to be a neat little landing page that gives you access to a distance learning strategies guide that we put together. You can download that guide from here. This is the link. Again, if you'd like to access this, it's really helpful on different integrations through LMS, whether you're using Canvas, Schoology, Google Classroom. There's some really good instructions, and it really talks about strategies to really solve some solutions with distance learning. We've put some really neat videos together that will help you as an instructor, setting up your courses, registering your students, assigning coursework, monitoring student progress, and then most importantly, a student and parent recording that really walks your students and your parents through the challenges that you're currently facing, but also really helps them get registered, turn in homework, and things of that nature. So please take advantage, jump in here and review those. Hopefully they're helpful. We also attached all of our tutorials as well. So I've really appreciate the opportunity to spend some time with you this morning. I hope that makes sense. Right here, when you do log in, if you're wanting to try iCEV, please reach out to us. We'll get you set up with a trial account. That'll give you access to really review iCEV, see if it's something that would be helpful for your classroom. And then most importantly, Rick and Janet Haygood, Steve Davis are locally in Arkansas. They do a great job, and they can answer a lot of your questions and handle training for you as well. With that being said, I just want to again thank you for the opportunity. It's been great working with the Arkansas teachers. The state staff have been very supportive, and we appreciate everything that you guys do for the students of Arkansas. Thanks again, and enjoy your conference.